Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the wild psychology behind why our initial judgments of people are so often just completely, undeniably wrong. You know, we love to think of ourselves as these incredibly rational beings, right? Capable of sizing up a person or a situation with perfect objectivity. But the real truth is, there's an invisible force shaping your reality every single day, completely warping how you see people, products, and honestly, reality itself.
Section 1. The First Impression Illusion. How your brain decides in 30 seconds.
Okay, let's picture a scenario we've literally all been in. Imagine sitting across a desk from two candidates interviewing for a job, and they have the exact same qualifications. Candidate A walks in wearing a sharp suit, offers a super confident handshake, and flashes this great smile. Within 30 seconds, your brain is already screaming, "Wow, this person is incredibly smart." And as the interview starts, something really strange happens. You begin interpreting everything they say more positively. Even their totally average answers sound impressive. Now look at candidate B. They're slightly nervous, a bit less polished, and their introduction is, frankly, pretty awkward. Before candidate B has even answered a single question, you're already less impressed. Same exact qualifications, same experience, but a completely different first impression.
Section 2. What is the halo effect? The shortcut that fools us.
That immediate shift in perception, yeah, it's not an accident. It's actually one of the absolute most powerful biases shaping your reality. The halo effect is surprisingly simple. It's our psychological tendency to notice one positive trait about someone and just automatically assume they have all these other positive traits too. It's like your brain takes a single, isolated good characteristic and draws this glowing, completely unwarranted halo around the entire person.
And this leads us straight to the assumption trap. Our brains make these massive leaps, linking totally unrelated traits together without a single shred of actual evidence. Think about it. If someone is good-looking, our brain instantly assumes they must be intelligent. Do they speak with a confident tone? Boom, we log them as highly competent. Are they successful in one highly specific field? Well, they must be universally trustworthy. Even if they're just funny, we assume they're deeply likable across the board. The huge problem here is that these assumptions usually have absolutely zero basis in reality.
Section 3. The halo in everyday life, from celebrities to classrooms.
Let's look at how this plays out, starting with the stuff we buy every single day. Why on earth do we buy expensive skincare products launched by famous actors? Are they dermatologists? No. Chemists? Highly unlikely. Do they have a massive team of 10 experts fixing their skin for them? Probably. But because that halo of on-screen attractiveness shines so brightly, our brains just assume they must be cutting-edge skin scientists. We blindly hand over our money because they're successful in Hollywood, just assuming they must be experts in everything else.
And man, this completely takes over on social media. Visual inputs, like a luxury car, perfectly curated photos, or a massive follower count, magically trick us into believing someone's life advice is highly valuable. You see the car, and your brain instantly goes, wow, this person is intelligent, successful, and happy. I should definitely listen to their financial advice. But none of those things necessarily follow. A nice Instagram grid is absolutely not evidence of actual wisdom, yet the halo makes it feel that way.
It actually gets even more serious when you look at education. Research proves that teachers unconsciously perceive the exact same answer as smarter if the student delivers it with polished confidence. Study after study has repeatedly shown that attractive or highly confident students are almost always perceived more positively. It's not because the academic answer changed. It's entirely because the perception of the person delivering it changed. Wild, right?
But honestly, nowhere is the halo effect stronger than in dating. Imagine two people tell the exact same joke. One is someone you're highly attracted to, the other isn't. Guess which one seems funnier? Exactly. The halo of physical attraction literally makes flaws shrink, it turns massive red flags totally invisible, and it makes totally average jokes significantly funnier. Their opinions suddenly seem smarter, purely because you're attracted to them.
Let's pivot over to the boardroom for a second. Imagine two founders pitching investors. One founder is a bit nervous and unpolished but has an absolutely incredible business model. The other founder steps up, confident voice, perfect slides, incredibly strong eye contact. Investors constantly reward appearance over substance by unconsciously mistaking those slick presentation skills for actual operational competence. Some of the most confident people in the world have absolutely no idea what they're talking about, while brilliant minds might really struggle to present. But the halo almost always favors the confident.
And this whole phenomena, it scales up to massive corporations too. Take companies like Apple.
Past positive feelings create this massive corporate halo that makes us assume a new product is amazing before we've even tried it. Because consumers love the brand and trust their phone or their laptop, they instantly assume the new headphones or the new streaming service must also be industry-leading. The halo is doing all the heavy lifting before the product even leaves the box.
Section 4. Why halos are dangerous. The trap of confirmation bias.
So why exactly does our brain do this to us, turning what seems like a quirky everyday habit into a genuinely dangerous blind spot? Well, it comes down to one simple truth. Judging people carefully takes a ton of effort, and our brains absolutely love shortcuts. They crave efficiency over accuracy. They opt for easy assumptions rather than doing the hard, exhausting work of evaluating hundreds of individual traits in every single person we meet. It's just so much easier to say, well, they dress impeccably, so they must be a genius, rather than actually verifying their intelligence.
Because once that initial halo forms, this vicious cycle just kicks in. First, the positive assumption is made. Then, we actively seek out evidence to confirm it, while completely, effortlessly explaining away or ignoring obvious contradictions. We become completely unobjective. This is exactly why we're so totally shocked when a beloved celebrity, a trusted politician, or a top executive turns out to be a fraud. The signs were almost certainly there all along. The halo just blinded us to them.
Section 5. How to protect yourself. Breaking the illusion.
Fortunately, we don't just have to be victims to our own brain's laziness. There's actually a super simple, actionable mental tool you can use to protect yourself from falling into this perception trap. The very next time you instantly like someone based on their vibes, their look, or their confidence, just stop. Force yourself to demand actual, tangible evidence. Ask yourself, what actual evidence do I have? Not just good vibes, not their sharp suit, not their strong eye contact. Real, factual evidence of their competence.
And keep in mind, this psychological bias definitely works both ways. It unfairly rewards impressive-looking people who might actually be quite ordinary, and it unfairly punishes the truly brilliant people who just happen to lack polish. Positive halos create these wildly unfair advantages, but negative first impressions create incredibly unfair disadvantages. If you dislike someone immediately, you really have to pause and ask yourself if you're judging their actual abilities or just a bad first impression.
The truth is, some of the absolute most impressive people you'll ever meet, they might not look that impressive at first glance. And some of the best-dressed, smoothest talkers out there will turn out to be completely ordinary once you look closer. So, I want to leave you with this final, powerful question to ask yourself the very next time you find yourself instantly judging someone, whether they feel trustworthy, attractive, or brilliant. Am I seeing the person, or am I just seeing the halo around them? Take that question with you today, and see if it doesn't help you view the world just a little more clearly.